Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another small fighter. This one is very unique because it's got moving parts on it that allows it to change from landing mode to fighting mode. And it's called the Alpha 3 Nimbus V-Wing, which is this lovely thing that I'm currently driving. So to demonstrate the moving parts on it, it's simply the side pins on the side, where you can press that, and now they just fold all the way up. Now the ship looks much more menacing from a distance. Just pulling away the camera like so. There we go. Putting them back. And there we are. So yes, all that's for is to simply give access to the connector underneath the ship to allow you to dock up to a larger ship. And speaking of docking up to a larger ship, these are short-range fighters, so you will have to have something fairly close by to make sure these are topped up with fuel, so they can run out very quickly. But anyway, pressing F10 and finding the V-Wing in the spawn menu, this thing is 600 small blocks, using no DLC packs and no mods. We can see here a nice lot of information about it, such as the history behind it, and of course we've got all the technical information of all the controls. So give this thing a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, have a quick look around the outside, then we'll go drive around for a bit, maybe find some space pirates, and then if not, slam it into an asteroid. So, at the very front, for the V-Wing, this is what we get. So we've got some white and red blocks to make up the main body of the ship, with a fighter cockpit to drive this thing around. We also have two autocannons to blast your enemies with, and they are the only form of firepower that appears on this ship, and they are attached onto the side part on our wings, but they're not on the moving section, so if we were to move them down, as you can see, they're not actually going to move with the wings, so they're always pointing towards your enemies. If we were to move around onto the side, here we go, round to here, so just a bunch of white and red steel blocks. There's our connector underneath, there's a few of our hydrogen thrusters, which are the only form of thrusters that appear on this ship, and this is how our wings have been set up. So there's the side of the autocannon, the wings are made for some armoured panels, and we do have another hydrogen thruster to help move us around. If we were to move around just a little bit more, we can see our hydrogen tanks of how we're going to store up all of our fuel. Then come around towards the very back of this thing, that's what's going to push us around, so we've got 6 small hydrogen thrusters, which should be good enough for short-range engagements. Moving all the way up and looking down, we've got even more armoured panels just covering up the top of those hydrogen thrusters. Make sure that they've got a nice bit of protection from any kind of stray shots coming from above you. There's our gyroscope, there's the fighter cockpit, and we can see some air vents on our side wings to suck in oxygen from the surrounding areas. Anyway, past our cockpit all the way over to this part at the very front, then moving all the way down and underneath it, down to here, there we go. There's our connector, there's some more thrusters, there's a couple of conveyors of how our guns have been connected up to the main body, and at the very back, another air vent to once again suck in oxygen from the surrounding areas. And there we go, that's a brief look around the outside of the V-Wing, and does look fantastic how it's all been set up. And I am always a sucker for moving parts on the ship, even something simple like this, it just works so well and adds that extra bit of detail to the ship that you wouldn't normally get from a static build. But anyway, grabbing hold of my character, bring up the HUD, these are the controls we get, where number 1, you guessed it, is to move our wings all the way down into standby mode or into docking mode. There we go. If we were to put it all the way back and press number 2, that'll simply lock it in place, so if I was to press number 1, nothing's going to happen. Perfect for flying this around because you want that loose, because it could cause a clanging issue, and well, make things very difficult to fly in an atmosphere. Number 3 is for our connector underneath the ship to lock and unlock it. Number 4 is for our batteries to auto-recharge. Number 5 is from optional reactors, turn them on and off if you have access to uranium. Then number 6 is for our O2HU generator on and off. 7 is for our hydrogen tank to stockpile on and off. 8 is for our gyroscopes, and then number 9 is for our hydrogen thrusters all around the ship to turn them on and off. Over to tab number 2, we then got controls for our autocannons on the side there. So there we go, we just fire 2 of them together. Number 2 is a wave animation that I always have at the start of the video. 7 and 8 is for our thruster override, so we can go to a little cruise. And then number 9 is to turn on and off our antenna to enable us to be sneaky if we wanted to. On to tab number 3, 4 and 5, we've got nothing else, so it's time to drive this thing around. So, realigning the camera, here we go, moving forwards, this is what we get. And we've got some nice speed thanks to those thrusters at the back there. Coming to a stop, it feels a little bit slower, but luckily we do have the gyroscope controls to do 180, turn this around a bit quicker, to stop ourselves a lot quicker. Moving left, and moving right, we're fairly slow with that. Moving down, a nice bit of speed, and then moving up, be faster than everything else, yes it is, because we can go on the planet. Then for gyroscope controls, moving this thing around, it's surprisingly heavy for such a small ship. It's oddly heavy to the point that you may want to put another gyroscope on there, but at the end of the day, it still works perfectly if you do get used to the heavy controls. But as for that, putting my signals on, are there any space pirates nearby? Yes there is, look at the timing on that, they want this. So now what I'm going to do is slowly move over to them, then try and shoot them with this poor little ship. If it's a big base, which is what I'm thinking it is, then, well, that's going to be a bit of a problem. And here we go, we are now approaching these space pirates. I can't zoom in because there is no camera on this, that's one thing this thing is lacking. But looks like we've got a hostile signal coming towards me, which is going to be a bit of a problem, because I need to try and lock onto that one. I think it's going to lock onto the other station behind it. But look at this, this looks like a wreckage of a very large ship that's been broken up into little pieces. And I was going to say it doesn't look like it has any guns on there, but it does have some guns. So let's try and lock onto that, get a leading indicator. I'm not sure if it's actually going to lock onto the guns or not. I might just be going for the main body of the ship. I'm going to try my best here without a camera to hit that gun. I'm not sure if it's going to be too good. It looks like I have lost one of my guns. And there we go, that one should now be disabled. Flying around here, back in the third person view. I think they do have another gun on there. I'm just going to fly around here very carefully. We have taken quite a lot of damage on that side panel right there. And that's why our gun has been disabled. But it does seem like... Oh, no, there's a gun right there. That's going to be a problem. And, well, there it is. That is what I was expecting to happen. Our guns are now fully disabled. I cannot fire that anymore. So the final thing to do with the V-Wing is, of course, slam it into there. Try and deal as much damage as possible. Look at all that smoke coming off me. That is one hell of a fire. But yes, it's a lovely little fighter to use in your world. You want to have something small and lightweight with a bit of style to it. And it does have a nice bit of firepower for disabling any kind of simple drones. So there'll be a link in the description below if you wish to download and play around it yourself. Highly recommend you do. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.